It's time now for a Congress WBN Regional Roundup. Get the latest news and perspectives from our Congress regions around the world.
Hello, and welcome to the January 2019 Regional Roundup. This is North America. At the end of December, the word from Dr. Woodruff at the Core of Elijah Center went out to all North America. Every saint viewed towards 2019 and received the word of exactness that the Lord has emphasized as we move into the new year with faith and expectation. Transaction with God took place in North America as saints adjusted to the divine requirement from the Lord for a now faith.
It's been an absolutely powerful launch into a new year. I don't think we've ever had anything quite like this, and to be able to have a very clear and succinct word given to us at the beginning of January. And it's touched hearts very deeply. I think with our different meetings that we've had, of course, reports coming back from senior elders across North America. That would be one aspect or avenue by which we've been tracking. The other thing was we just finished up a coordinators meeting for North America this last week, asking them to give their personal levels of impact and perspectives on what they've heard. And from each one of those, I think we can see a deep sobriety inside people's hearts. There's a real sense that we're getting closer to the finish, and things are definitely ramping up towards personal development. There's a clear sense of greater assessment to ensure exactness in homes, lifestyles, priorities. This seems to be a very deeper work than we've had before in the past. And it seems like when we get to one level of deep depth, we always know there's more, and sure enough, this unfolds, and this thing had such a weight with it and such an impact because of the way that it dropped into the hearts of the SCs, and we know it dropped into the communities with the same kind of weight because they expressed that in the reports at the same time. So I think it clearly aligns us and positions it and postures us to see what 2019 will be a year of tremendous further development to come into a maturity. The whole thing of no spots and no wrinkles. In other words, now going back and looking at the seemingly small areas, but God absolutely is saying, I want it cleaned up, I want change, I want maturity at a greater and a higher level. And it's waving across into families and to each one of the coordinators. They all express the same thing, and driven by a correct sense, which we have to thank God that He defined for us last year and gave us a correct sense of what is the fear of the Lord. So now there's a season open where it's even more applicable, and nobody's afraid of it. There's a great sense of joy. Even though it's more demanding, there is a joy that goes along with I think, because of that. So it's the fear of the Lord and the joy of the Lord partnering together to bring us to the next level.
That's a great summary, Steve. And I would just add one thought, and that is that the grace is very empowering. That the demand for exactness is accompanied by a flow of grace and new impartation of grace, and everybody's feeling that. And therefore, it doesn't feel burdensome. It doesn't feel wrong. It doesn't feel demanding. It feels appropriate because He's saying, come up higher, and then He's taking us higher. He's very proximate. And I'm sure that's all true all across the Congress. It's certainly true in our hearts. Individually, it's true in North America. So it's like a new flow, almost like a new ability to apply the grace in a way that we didn't quite have before, which I suppose if you're finishing a piece of wood or something, it looks good from a distance, but the closer you get with a magnifying glass, you see maybe a blemish here or a little bit of unfinished spot there, and it's like that. But it's with all the skills of a master craftsman to finish that thing and make it perfect, as you said, no spot, no wrinkle, radiant and spot free, and so massive grace flowing into the Congress of North America.
Absolutely.
You've been watching a Congress WBN Regional Roundup.